Shira, how you doing today?
I'm doing decent. How are you?
Doing great.
Marshal O'Shira.
All right, let's go inside. That way, a little bit privater.
Sorry, I was kind of heated on the phone.
No, kid, it is fine. Trust me, it is perfectly okay. Okay. I'm gonna lower my voice just a little bit so we have just a little bit more privacy. Okay, so
Sure.
run me through what's going on.
All right, what's going on right now? So, I think this was Friday. This is 2 days ago, right? Saturday? Saturday. It was a Saturday.
Saturday.
Might be whispering in here, or
Yes.
okay. I hear people talking. Okay, I didn't realize there's so many people in here.
Yes. Yeah, that's why we're here.
It was Saturday, right? A fateful day.
Yeah.
We were conducting crime. I know we're damn criminals. Okay.
Oh no!
We're
How could
terrible.
you do this?
We're terrible. We're criminals, right? We were in a bank with a hostage. A hostage whose obviously life is at risk because he's a fucking hostage. I mean, that makes sense, right? He's at gunpoint.
Okay.
He could be shot at any point.
Okay.
One officer.
Pause real
Yes.
quick.
Yes.
Did anybody get arrested from this potential?
Yes.
Yeah, we
all of
we
us.
all got
Tomfoolery.
arrested.
We all got
Okay.
arrested, so don't worry about it.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'm just asking because if there's a report, I'm gonna follow along with you so I can kind of get both sides at the same time.
That's perfect. Okay. Yes, just say like Raymond Romanov, Kid Archer gets shot or something, or bank results in shooting or something like that. It was a pretty big scene. A lot of people got shot.
Well, to be fair, he just told you that.
Those people in the other room are kind of loud.
Yeah, they're
To be
very loud.
honest.
Guys, keep it down there. We're trying to have a conversation over here.
Howick Bank, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Keep going.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Hi.
holy, I'm so distracted right now. Give me a second. Trying to focus on this. So, we're sitting there. We're in the bank, right? We got a hostage. His life is at risk. You know, the hostage says to us, guys, I'm starving right now. I might starve at any moment. And we're like, okay, shit. Like, we're gonna ask the police officers for food, right? That makes sense. The negotiation to keep the hostage alive, right? Makes sense. Officer comes. He's like, okay, guys, listen. I'm the only officer that can respond right now because obviously we have other officers on duty, but they might be held up and some stuff. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I do request that you get food for this hostage. And he's like, well, I can't leave the scene right now because you're here and I don't want you to get away. And I'm like, well, the hostage is about to die. Like, you need to get food for him. Call another officer down here to get food for him. So he walks out. Or I don't know if he does walk out. I don't remember what he does. He does something for a second. And then he starts talking to me again. He was like, oh, I can't get you food for the hostage right now. How about after we go get the food? I'm like, well, he's going to die in a moment. So you don't care about this guy's life, do you? He's like, I do care about his life. I'm like, you obviously don't. If I shot this hostage right now, you don't give a fuck about him, do you? Because he's about to die anyway. And he's like, well, so it gets like, back and forth. So I'm like, all right. Well, obviously you don't give a fuck about this hostage. So something has to change right now. You need to get an officer down here to get them food or he's going to die. Or I might as well just shoot him. And he starts panicking. He's like, what do you mean you just shoot him? I'm like, well, if I don't fucking shoot him, you might as well fucking shoot him because that's what you're doing right now by not getting him food. He panics. He runs outside. He's like, he probably asked for backup, whatever it is. And at this point, backup comes and they get him food or whatever. I think they bring food.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, everything is good now. That's it. You helped the hostage. You got them food. I'm not going to hurt the hostage anymore unless you guys fuck up again. Because he's a hostage, right? I might hurt the hostage. At this point, another person starts negotiating. This is not Bean negotiating with us. This is another officer. I forgot his name. It's just a cadet from the LSPD.
Okay.
Bean comes and he takes over the scene. And I noticed like 10 cops. 10 cops pull up. And I'm like, all right, this is...
Houston Bean.
Yes, Houston Bean takes over. And like 10 cops come and I'm like, okay, this is a little bit suspicious. Like, why the fuck are so many cops coming up? And I tell Bean, I'm like, hey, Houston, you're not escalating the situation, right? Like, I don't want anyone to get hurt here. I just want free passage to my vehicle, no spikes, and no one to get shot. And he's like a little bit hesitant at first. He's like, yeah, I can give you free passage to your vehicle. I'm like, no, I'm going to make you say it. Free passage to the vehicle, no spikes, and I don't want anyone to get shot here. And he repeats everything, and he says, okay, no one's going to get shot. You guys can get free passage to your vehicle, and no one's going to get spiked. The hostage is then...
Who's getting shot?
The hostage is then safely returned to the police. No one is hurt. They have not breached at this point. If they really thought the hostage's life was at risk, because we are about to immediately hurt the hostage, they would have breached, right? That makes sense. But they did not breach, and the hostage was safely returned. We get out of the bank. We get into our vehicle. and a literal firing squad shoots down everyone in the vehicle. Myself, Kit, and 2 other individuals. And I talked to the officers after. By the way, obviously there's 2 people on the outside that freak out that fact that their entire gang just got shot down, and they start shooting at the people. You know, it just turns into a small shootout, but nothing crazy. But I talked to the officers after, and I found out it's Houston who was leading the scene. He took over, and he made the call, and he was essentially gloating about it. Like, yeah, I was the one who did that. I made that call. And I'm like, so you made the call to open fire on people after hostage was safely returned. No one's hurt. You guys didn't find an immediate threat to the hostage's life enough to warrant shooting. Otherwise, you would have breached. That's how it works.
Yeah, no news is good news. Oh, and I'll let you know if we have absolutely anything.
So that's what I'm dealing with right now. I talked to the mayor, by the way, and Nino was very both mad and surprised about this. He said that he's never seen anything like this. Like if this would set a terrible precedent in the city if it was set up.
Good luck with all this.
If every person in a bank robbery that threatens a hostage was to get shot, I mean, it would just, you would see that would be the worst precedent he's ever seen. So he said, go to the marshals, go to the mayor. Go to the judicial system, but I should start with you guys. Yeah, it was pretty shit. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't listen to the last thing that Wei said, so if this is repeating what he said, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
So I used to be a cop.
Yeah, I know.
And afterwards, I was kind of thinking, like, what would I have done in that situation? You know, let's say I was on the outside, you know. My personal experience is that if negotiations have gone so poorly or essentially are failing, and you feel that that hostage life is truly in danger and that if you don't step in, they are going to die, it makes sense to breach, right?
The breach.
Because it has become a life and death situation. The fact that like they didn't breach, they told us that everything was fine. We continued negotiations. People were laughing during it.
Yeah,
like,
officers
it
were like laughing and
fairly
shit.
lighthearted. And then they allowed us to get into the vehicle, and then they just opened fire. It felt like they just wanted to shoot. You know, it was sort of like they couldn't. Okay, a lot of times with like banks, right? Like I've responded to my fair share of banks.
Jesus Christ.
And a lot of times with banks, it's pretty like straightforward, right? You know, like free passage, no spikes. Like sometimes there's no spice.
Thank you, Poir. Yeah, that's the one
and
game I
don't know
lost,
if
bro.
They just like
I felt bad, man. I lost the game.
didn't know how to like handle the situation or whatever.
Thank you,
but
no brother.
Just I've never seen anything like this. And all the time that I was a police officer, I had never seen that kind of response. Very rarely did I ever see a breach. I did see them happen, but that was like, oh shit, the hostage is harmed, or
right. It's like actually harmed and not just a like verbalization of like I'm gonna hurt the hostage kind of shit.
I mean, that's literally what I'll be honest.
That's what you're supposed to do. Like
if you want to apply like Tennessee versus Gardner, right? Like a fleeing felon,
terrible
that this
precedent.
person,
Terrible
that this
precedent.
like these people are a threat to society. The threat was against the hostage. So if the hostage is secured, what threat are they posing? You know, how can you articulate Tennessee versus Gardner in that case? We never threatened officers.
Yeah, it's not like I took an officer hostage. I would understand if that's the case. Just some random bum, you know, like.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna ask a question, and I'm going to beg you to not take this as me being dismissive of what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out what my point of attack is on here.
Yes.
Of everything you've told me, is the major point of concern the fact that the firing squad nonsense happened, or that they were gloating afterwards?
The fact that
the firing
squad was the worst part
like,
about it. Yeah.
People talk shit all the time.
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
yeah.
we fucking got shot. Like a lot.
I just want to make sure that I know like what should my focus be on when I'm addressing this. Because I don't want to. I feel like a blanket statement isn't going to help anything. You know what I mean?
There were over 10 units there. And
Yeah, they
like
even made us wait for other officers to show up. We were like, hey, can we leave now? Like, what's going on?
That's right. They asked us to wait. And we agreed in good faith. And imagine a car full of 4 people and at least 10 units, and not just 10 cops. Like, some of those units were probably doubled up. Let's just throw out a number: 15 to 20 cops all open fire simultaneously on a vehicle.
I was literally
Like,
the most
that's
brutal
the-
firing squad you'll ever see in your life. It's like people lined up. Like, it was insane.
Okay.
What if one of
Here's
us
what
died? I mean,
here's what I'm going to do. Okay, there's 2 routes this is going to. Well, there's multiple routes this is going to go. I have a general idea that I know exactly where this is going to end up, so I'm going to preemptively put you in contact with a lawyer.
I already
At
have
the
a lawyer
absolute
about this.
base, you have?
Tony Long. He's
Okay,
he also
perfect.
works under Nino's staff too, the mayor.
Perfect. I would start at the absolute bare minimum, start looking into an ACR. This shit needs to happen more. Officers need to be held accountable.
What's an ACR?
Think about it like a review
it's like
for
a
accountability.
review, right?
Yeah. It's
Hmm.
basically to make sure that, like, if there is misconduct, there's an actual review that happens.
Okay, I wish. Yeah, I wish that happened more. God damn. Like,
There's
you know,
a
it's,
drone outside of your window.
Yeah, ignore it. Just ignore it.
I pointed
Um,
at it and it flew away.
It saw you, kid. I was like, oh shit.
there was a drone there. I
Yeah,
didn't even know there was a
honestly,
drone there.
anybody can push an ACR, so do it. I'm gonna go have a conversation with the sheriff about it. Unfortunately, with the way that the marshal's office has changed, we don't really have as much
Please don't tell
power
me that's
over the
Vincent.
departments as possible.
Because we just talked to Vincent. You know what's funny? I brought it up to Vincent Ventura, and he's like, you know what? Kid deserved to get shot. And then I just drove away. I was like,
What,
okay.
so this was during that conversation that he said that?
I literally, like, what, 20, 30 minutes ago?
This incident to
Yeah, I brought
him, and
I
his
brought this
response
incident up,
was,
and he said, kid
well,
deserved to
because-
get shot.
Okay.
I
Work
was
with
so
Tony.
stunned. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with the police department? Is this a gang or like officers? Like,
No,
who-
this is super inappropriate.
please tell me that's appropriate behavior. Someone says, yeah,
It's
it
fucking
doesn't,
nuts.
none of this matters because kid deserved to get shot. She was a terrorist. I'm like, okay, Jesus fucking
I-
Christ.
I served my time, you know? And then he justified it when I was on the phone. He's like, well, do you feel remorseful for your actions? And I said, no. And he's like, yeah, you do deserve to get shot then.
What the,
Like,
great. This is a gang. This is literally a gang.
why would I feel remorseful when a cop is literally telling me I deserve to get shot?
You know, I've dealt with gangs that are less violent than what that just happened at that bank.
Oh, and then he told me, well, the cost to repair the BCSO was more than your fine.
That's okay.
I'm like, well,
See,
I'm
this
like,
is the
that's not
beauty.
my fault for poor planning on your part.
This is the beauty of me doing basically the reverse of what you did, Kit, where I'm coming from the criminal world and now I'm a cop, is that this kind of shit I sit there going, what? This
This is stunning.
Dude.
I'm not gonna lie. This is the worst policing I've ever seen.
It's yeah.
Like, I had always heard about, you know, when I was a cop, I would always hear people say, like, you know, cops are terrible, just like the way that they treat people. And like I don't want to toot my own horn, but people would say, like, you don't really treat people that way, you know?
Yeah.
And now kind of being on the other side, I'm just like,
There are definitely
bad.
officers that.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's really bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
but,
no, legit push for an ACR. I
Yeah.
kid you not. At the bare minimum, do that.
Mhm.
Because that will, it's at least doing something and pushing for accountability. And I think that is, as a whole, I think all of the PD needs more accountability and they need to get pushed like this.
Sure, I'll do an ACR. Also do a civil court case because I'm not gonna lie, I do want to take it to court about what happened.
Oh, yeah, do it. Fuck it.
That's some crazy
Well,
shit.
worst case, you don't win and you still get to make
know-
a fool of the department. Like, I mean,
what I'm worried about, what I'm concerned about, is that they win that court case and the precedent that anyone can get shot leaving a bank would be set. And that, I'm not gonna lie,
well, I
I
think that's
would
what you push
be-
is that point right there, right? Is the precedence. It's not, it shouldn't even be a matter of what actually happened, but the precedence it sets, and that's what you come after them
A
for.
precedent would only be set if a case law is drawn from it. Like, people think, like, you go to court, the judge rules on something, a precedent is set. It's not.
I thought it
It's
does get
only
set
if,
if you.
no, it's only if a case law is written.
But can't they
that
write the
is-
case
that
law?
Officially,
from-
yes. But the problem is that I think it's more, at least the way that I'm seeing it, is
Referred
a
to?
precedence of behavior versus like, because it's one of those things. It's like, think about it, like even from like the criminal side. If you see somebody do something one way and it works, why would you also not do it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's this situation, but like that's how it, like, it's why there's like well-known like getaway routes, right? People have come up with them. You get taught it. It works really fucking good. You keep using it because it works, right? So
I know this is gonna sound kind of boohoo, and I wouldn't be surprised if your response was, well, just don't
Hi,
do
chat. How you doing?
crime. But I'm gonna be honest, that was my first bank. It was with Way. You know, I was excited. And now I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to get shot again. Like, do I just say free passage, no spikes, please don't talk to me because I don't want to get shot?
Yeah, that shit was
No,
crazy. It almost feels like I shouldn't even.
that's
You know what's crazy? Maybe I shouldn't have been concerned about the hostage's life. Maybe I should have just let him starve to death so I could fucking walk out that bank
I'm not
safely.
gonna lie. I was upset afterwards. I had a right mind to go and find that hostage because if I was gonna get shot over him, I might as well shoot him. I didn't do that. But
I mean, listen, from a Marshal perspective, yeah, don't do crime, boo-hoo. From an actual human being, like, that fucking sucks, regardless of if it was crime or not. It was an experience for you, and for it to be tainted like that is absolutely uncalled for. And on top of that, what is the point of, in my opinion, what is the point of having a hostage if you're just going to get shot anyways? What is the fucking point?
Exactly.
definitely don't really trust negotiations, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you should
because
not.
Yeah, good
After
faith
that, especially
negotiation
if that's
is
your first bank,
crazy.
you absolutely should not.
Yes.
I would be shocked if you went to a bank right now and were like, yeah, they're 100% going to hold up what they just said. That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
somebody told me that later that day they went to like a cash exchange or something, and they said the officer walked in and literally said, I'm not going to shoot you. Like, what the fuck?
That's
You know?
okay. All right. I'm gonna crash out on somebody before the end of the week.
All right. Well, anyway, we're gonna go through this. Hopefully,
Sorry to
this.
drop
Yes.
this
I
on
hopefully,
you.
No,
Oshira,
you
this
are
went to
good,
the
you are
right
good.
place. Like, hopefully, this will actually do something. But
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
There's
It's crazy.
only so much the marshals can do now. Things have changed very heavily for us. We don't have as much PD oversight as we used to, but I can go highly recommend actions be taken within the PD, which is why I'm also telling you, take the legal route. I'm encouraging you to use the powers that are
That's what
at
Nino
D
said. Yeah,
to do that.
Nino said, don't just. I was gonna say, I'll be honest. I mean, I was gonna probably set up some sort of illegal ambush or something. Nino's like, don't do that. Genuinely speaking, this is one of the worst things he's ever seen. Go the legal route. Something needs to be done about this.
No,
like now.
like genuinely, like listen, I've been there. I have murdered my fair share of cops in the past.
Brother,
I
every cop is
understand
dying
the
right
want
now.
to violently retaliate.
Holy fuck! What is happening right now?
I have no idea. My radio's not on.
I
Every beep in the world is going off right now.
just want to make this like very clear. Like, if they had breached us, I honestly don't think I would have had a problem.
I don't think
with
anyone
it.
would have cared. At least it would.
I really
not.
wouldn't
It's
have
different.
cared if they had breached us, because at that point they feel that things have gone so south that that person is going to die. I get it.
Yeah.
But the execution style shit is crazy.
No, I agree with you. I am a firm believer, and I did this back when I was in the Lost. Sometimes the best way that you can fuck over a police officer is to do it legally. You can fuck over somebody's career and put them into the ground through that and cause so much more harm than if you physically hurt them.
That's right. All right, thank you, Oshiro. We're gonna get out of here before the entire fucking
Give me a
police
call if you
department.
need anything else, okay?
For the whole police department about to die.
All right.
And thank you for everything with my dad, by the way. Oh.